one thing the Russian people are willing to fight for is not going to war against their neighbors in Ukraine.
People, and that's happening right here in the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thursday marks the anniversary of one of the worst ongoing atrocities committed by a communist regime, the horrific persecution of Falun Gong in China. You included Falun Gong practitioners and other Chinese dissidents in your film. What is the importance of listening to the stories of dissidents from communist regimes, and what role do they play in awakening people to the threat of communism?
It's a fantastic question, and it's mind-blowing to me that few people listen to the people that actually experienced the situation. And so people are ready to listen to newscasters and people in the media saying these things don't exist. They don't live there, they've never experienced it, but every dissident from a communist nation that is here in the United States now is saying the exact same thing, and that is wake up, America. Because they can recognize, if you've lived through something, any experience, you're able to recognize the steps that it takes to actually bring that into reality. And so they're witnessing the chipping away at our First Amendment, the attack on the Second Amendment, the real pull to tear down our Constitution, which is the foundation of America, and why it's the number one destination for immigration from all over the world, because we have this thing that is supposed to protect the individual.
Has the making and reception of this film given you hope?
It really has. It's been shocking to me, really, because I guess I just have grown accustomed to a lot of pushback. And this film has received very little, because it's a good thing, and it's also a scary thing. It's good that people are accepting this and they're learning from it, but it's scary because it means that these ideas are so prevalent. It's so present and in our face that people just can't deny it any longer, which means these agendas are far advanced. And so that's the scary part. If you just go to see The Great Awakening on YouTube, read the comments. It's quite inspiring, because people are really understanding it, and they're doing their own homework. And I would say that's one of the many unintended consequences of the COVID-19 situation, is that it's birthed a generation of citizen journalists. Whereas before, people were totally uninformed, most people, of what's happening around the world, in politics nationally, internationally, and particularly locally. People now are sharing information daily with each other, and that being informed is really our best weapon and tool.
Mickey Willis, director, writer, and producer of The Great Awakening, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
You can watch The Great Awakening for free online at plandemicseries.com. To watch the full interview with Mickey Willis, visit our NTD website. It will be published there on Wednesday. We will also be live streaming the rally in Washington, D.C. to end the persecution of Falun Gong this Thursday. Visit ntd.com for more details.
Human rights, they've demonstrated that over and over again, especially under the current regime. So anything that we do, whenever we're approaching the People's Republic of China, we need to keep that in mind. We need to keep in mind who we're dealing with and what kind of economy they're based on. Senator Haggerty said it perfectly, that everything to the Chinese Communist Party is political. That's an ideological staple of theirs. And if we're not looking at our negotiations with them through a realistic lens, it's only going to end up hurting us.
Kelly Sloan, Senior Fellow in Energy and Environment at the Centennial Institute. Really appreciate your insights.
Thank you.
Coming up, on the eve of the anniversary of China's persecution of Falun Gong, we explore lessons learned under communist rule in a deep dive discussion with the director of the film, The Great Awakening. And in cycling news, the sport's governing body has issued a new transgender policy. We hear what a former Olympian has to say when we return.
92-day term. 92 days. That's 3 months. So there's something called floor planning. When vehicles come in, they don't pay for the vehicle up front. They pay for the interest on that, and that is financed. And when that vehicle's sold, they pay it off, and the usual car transaction. So if that vehicle stays for 3 months, 92 days, that means every single month that vehicle sits, it's costing the dealer money. Now, the dealer is a franchise. Whether you like dealers or not, the manufacturers are pushing these out, but they're not selling. So right now, every dealer in Michigan has between 2 and 5 Lightnings and the Mach-E, which is their SUV. And it's not just Ford. It's General Motors. It's every single electric car are not selling.
So it seems like price is not the biggest obstacle here. Ford is slashing prices, but it seems like consumers have other concerns.
Right, and think about this. If you're, we'll just say for average, you're cutting close to $10,000 off the car. You get a $7,500 tax credit from the federal government, and your state might offer $2,500, and maybe your company offers $1,000, depending on who you work for. There's a lot of different ways to save money. You could save up to $20,000 on a truck. That's $80,000, still getting you a $60,000 truck. But you're still looking at a lot of money. And people are looking at that, plus insurance, plus the economy. I think they're taking a second look at, this may not work for me. You can buy all kinds of power walls. Ford offers one. Tesla offers one you can put in your home. You always have charging at home. But that doesn't work if you're actually going to be driving places, and it limits your freedom, and I think people are starting to see that. Have consumers decided, this doesn't work for me? Every time I go to a charging station, which I just talked to someone who was in northern Michigan who told me they had a Ford Lightning truck they were testing. They got there were 4 stations. 2 of them were working. One had a Hummer in it, and it was going to be there for a long time because it's a very large battery. And they sat there and they charged for 4 hours just to get them to their destination, which didn't have a charger, or it had one that was broken. So these are problems that consumers get frustrated. It'd be like you're pulling into a gas station and there's no fuel, or they're not pumping today. You get aggravated, but there's other gas stations. And in case of charging stations, there's a lot of limitations. And I think that's what's making customers think twice about buying one.
All right, seems like a lot of hurdles facing the EV market. But thank you so much today, Laura. Pleasure speaking to you.
Fauci's email in February 2020 referred to the Wuhan lab's gain-of-function experiments. He wrote there was a suspicion that the mutation was intentionally inserted. Fauci added that scientists in Wuhan University are known to have been working on gain-of-function experiments. The House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic obtained and released the letter. Fauci denied in a 2021 congressional hearing that the Wuhan lab's bat virus study was a gain-of-function one, adding that the U.S. didn't fund such research. Another revelation involves the taxpayer-funded security that Fauci is receiving, though he has retired last December. Files obtained by Fox News' Jesse Waters' Prime Time revealed that former White House chief medical advisor is still getting security services from the U.S. Marshals. During a February visit, the U.S. Marshals emailed the White House regarding Fauci's parking issues. In another email, the U.S. responded to 3 individuals over inappropriate communications about Fauci. A recently retired FBI special agent backed up recent IRS whistleblower claims in a transcribed interview yesterday. That's over allegations of interference and special treatment in a criminal tax probe into Hunter Biden. The interview was conducted behind closed doors before the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. Committee Chair James Comer issued a statement after the interview. The congressman says the Justice Department's treatment of the matter reveals a 2-tiered system of justice. The former FBI agent says he was assigned to interview Hunter Biden in a criminal tax probe with IRS whistleblower Gary Shapley in December of 2020. But that the interview never happened because FBI headquarters allegedly notified the Biden administration, the Biden transition team, and Secret Service about the plan. Comer says it frustrated investigative efforts because those who didn't need to know about it found out. The former agent has not yet been named. He told Congress that he and Shapley were not allowed to approach Hunter Biden's house and had to wait nearby until Hunter contacted them. The former FBI special agent told committee investigators it was the first time he had ever been told to wait outside for the subject of investigation to contact him. Shapley and another IRS whistleblower are set to testify before Congress on Wednesday. A transcript of the former FBI agent's testimony could be released later this week. Lawyers
refers to the appearance of Mercury moving backward in the sky, hence the term retrograde. It's become wildly popular to blame just about everything bad on Mercury retrograde. Global inflation, Mercury retrograde. Rising interest rates, Mercury retrograde. Your relationship troubles. Yes, it's not lack of communication and trust issues, it's Mercury retrograde. And if you ask me, I'd say Rihanna being chosen to perform next year's Super Bowl halftime show, Mercury retrograde, right? wrong. Chalk that up to her record label president Jay-Z being the NFL's official live music entertainment strategist. But I guess I'm officially a boomer because I had never heard the term until recently. I mean, like, in the last few years. But it's become the new term for what I just used to call happens. So, the next time your computer breaks down on you, or you get into an accident, or your checking account goes into super overdraft because you have horrible spending habits and budgeting skills, luckily for you, it's because Mercury stopped moving forward through the degrees of the zodiac, and it's moving backwards, and not because happens.
Your friend, who's also your doctor, says you can't work, and I believe him, and so should your long-term disability insurer. My name is Baron Faxman, and if your disability claim has been denied because it's suspect at best, call me at 416-666-6666.